Okay, so now that we know a little bit about cell division, I want to talk about chromosomes and genes and the information they carry and why it influences what we look like. So chromosomes are these rod-shaped bodies that come in pairs. Okay, I have a picture of this down here in the bottom. So cattle have 30 pairs of chromosomes, hogs have 19, and chickens actually have 39. So the number of chromosomes that you have depends upon the species. Genes are genetic material that are located on chromosomes, and genes are what actually controls the characteristics that are inherited from parents. There's two different types of genes. There are dominant genes and there are recessive genes. So dominant genes, so in a gene pair on a chromosome, you will have either dominant or recessive genes. The dominant ones will hide the effect of the recessive genes, so they'll cover up recessive traits. And when we actually write out gene pairs, they're represented by a capital letter. Now, recessive genes are masked by dominant genes, but they can show up when a homozygous gene pair they're both recessive are present. Okay, so there's two different types of gene pairs. There's heterozygous and there's homozygous. Heterozygous gene pairs are one dominant gene, one recessive gene. Homozygous pairs are either both recessive or both dominant. Now, in a heterozygous pair, your dominant gene will always take over. In a homozygous pair, you only have one option because you only have dominant genes or you only have recessive genes. So if you have a homozygous recessive pairing, that recessive gene will then be presented. All right, so if we look at the example that I have here, so in this case, capital P and little p. Capital P represents a polled animal, little p represents a horned animal. So if you cross two heterozygous pairs, then both of these parents are polled. Okay, so they don't have horns. But if you get a baby that gets both recessive genes, recessive gene from mom, recessive gene from dad, then all of a sudden you have a horned animal, if that makes sense. So I kind of talked about this a little bit, but homozygous genes are where the genes are the same on each allele. So the gene pair, both individuals from that pair are the same gene. Whereas a heterozygous gene pair are where gene pairs carry two different traits. We'll talk about heritability estimates in the next and final genetics video.